It really
It's
wasn't.
the flame comment.
Yeah, so I removed it.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but then I disabled comments on the next one I put up.
Yes. I noticed that.
And then, coming up in Carter's queue of suggested videos.
Yeah.
So in other words, like, hey, we thought you might like that. You know how YouTube does that?
Jesus, it stinks. Yeah. Go on, I'm with you.
In Carter's queue of suggested videos, right?
There for a moment.
The first two suggested videos in Carter's queue this morning were Dan TDM's, the Diamond Minecart guys, video on what to do about mean comments, and then the next one was what to do when people are rude to you in the comments or when you get trolled. That's the word they use for it.
That's
so it's interesting that I wonder if YouTube, by noticing that we had removed a comment or disabled comments,
realized
if they had said, "Oh, this guy must have gotten some mean comments. Let's suggest some." I can't possibly imagine any other reason why it would put two mean comment suggestions in Carter's queue.
Of course, you saw what I wrote.
The email to
me. No. Did you see my comment on
that? I didn't delete that.
Well, because that was, I saw that after. I wrote that after I saw this guy's asshole remark.
Oh. What did they complain about?
Some kid said, somebody said not to be a dick, but...
did you really say action at the start?
Did you really say... Yeah, I could hear you say action at the start. Kids shouldn't put videos on YouTube, and, you're a kid. It wasn't that bad.
No, I didn't get the sense he was saying kids shouldn't put videos on YouTube. He said... I thought the point he was trying to drive at, albeit very meanly, was, and unpleasantly, was, this is just something fun to do. Don't take it so seriously. Just say action. That's.
I see. I took it like kids shouldn't put. I took it like kids. You're just a kid. Kids shouldn't put videos on YouTube.
No, I didn't take that away from it at all.
Oh, okay. I wonder if I can go back and reread it.
Did he attack the card thing, or?
Oh, it was Carter had put. This was before the online one. So Carter,
this is the one where he was building the theater.
Yeah, he was just building something on his game, but he doesn't want me to speak at all.
Well, and you don't generally. I mean,
it really pisses him
off. Unless he's getting completely sort of off track.
Right. So then he said action, not me.
Oh no!
I did this thing off camera.
I didn't even notice that initially until I read the comment, and then I went back and I made sure that I listened to it really carefully right from the start.
So we did one of these TV things. I said, so I worked out with him ahead of time. I said, I'm just going to do a countdown. So I went, and then I'm like, when I point at you, but then he said action anyway. Yeah. So I was like, whatever. He has fun with it.
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, that's why I do it. I do it to have fun with it.
He has fun with it.
This isn't my business. This isn't my livelihood.
You're not generating a lot of income.
Well, I'm probably about $70 after 3.5 years.
When do they mail you that check? Or is that
it has to get to 100 before
they'll cut you a check?
Yeah. On the other hand, they are going to escheat that money to the state if I don't go through a whole bunch of paperwork. Now, listen, check it out. Sent to me by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, think how much money that costs Google to track down these little piddly-ass AdSense accounts, It would be just so much easier if every now and again, every 6 months, they just mailed people a check. I mean, it's got to be cheaper than having PricewaterhouseCoopers go out and...
I had, what was it called? Cafe Press. So I had this Cafe Press account, and what Cafe Press is...
Never heard of that.
You can basically, upload your own designs and shit, and then sell swag, T-shirts, aprons, hats.
Are they good quality?
Shit like that. It's all right. It's not bad.
Have you seen the merchandise?
Yeah. Well, Kelly bought me the hat off of
the merch.
So this was when I first set up elfboy.net. I had kind of started this. So Kelly actually ordered me a hat once off of it. It was okay.
Now, is it Now, is it a hat that's got a brim like this, or is the hat?
Yeah, no, it's like that.
Or is it a hat that's got a much narrower brim that is far more common?
No, it's a big ass wide brim.
Okay, it's not one of the more narrowy ones that sort of come down here and have more of a peak.
No.
Okay.
Anyway,
Now, see, those are okay.
Anyway, so but I've had this thing. This account.
Are the t-shirts fairly good, heavy quality? Are they that flimsy?
There are two qualities.
Flimsy State Fair shit.
You can order the cheap one. It's the flimsy State Fair shit.
Yeah.
If you order like the $18 one, it's like the good quality.
Well, you're gonna pay at least $15 for a good one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
More to the point. I
want to make things. I may want to have like Island of Peace hats.
Yeah. It's I would recommend it because it's completely free to you. So anyway, the point is that I set this account up, I don't know, years ago. And every now and again, about every year, once you hit like, I think it's like $12 in sales and profit, they just cut you a check and it just shows up. So, or they'll put it in like, if you want, they'll put it in like a PayPal account or something like that. But so about every 3 years now, I get a check for like $15 from Cafe Press. Or what they'll do then is if you've accumulated profit, they'll allow you to purchase like your own shit or other people's shit at the discounted rates.
Okay.
So I don't even know what's up there. My biggest seller is a bumper sticker that I have that says "Get off the phone!" exclamation. That's by far my biggest seller. And then my second biggest seller is I have a baby onesie that says "Poop is always funny." Those are my two biggest sellers. I sell like 10 or 12 of those a year.
Baby is poop is always
No, just poop is always funny. It's an inside joke from Kelly.
I was going to say that's got to originate with Kelly.
Yeah.
God bless you for this.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers. Yes.
I must say I was a bit envy not thy neighbor's ass, covet not thy neighbor's ass. I was a bit envious of your experience up there at Ashland.
All for free.
Where you got to read and that deep background, and it is truly deep
still
background.
Percolating. Yeah. I haven't. I actually need to take my final exam.
For all the stuff you've read, I've read the Federalist Papers, but I've basically read none of the actual debates except for a couple of the ones relating to the Second Amendment, and that was actually after
that's the ratification
after the fact, and then some of the Federalist Papers actually do address some criticisms they've had in the press as they came out.
Yeah.
But,
we read all of James. Well, virtually. Maybe like 4 days, 5 days that kind of got left out here and there. But basically all of Madison's...
James Madison is truly underappreciated. I mean, people always are quoting Thomas Jefferson and that asshole Benjamin Franklin.
Genius.
And but Madison was the guy that was scurrying around in the hallways, arranging things so that when you went into the committee room, they would work.
Yeah, well, and I tell you, so we read virtually all of his debates for the Federal Convention.
Yeah.
So, and he's the only guy, I think there might be one other guy, but he was the only guy, or maybe one other guy that was there every single day of the convention. And of course, he took copious notes.
Well, given the water situation there at the time, that was probably pretty good testament to his intestinal system.
Judging by when you look at some of the bills and things, the checks from these taverns and inns where these guys were staying. If you go back and look at some of those, these guys weren't drinking a whole lot of water. They're drinking like ale and port and Madeira and that stuff. So we read that. We read basically all the Federalist Papers. We read a large selection of the Anti-Federalist Papers. We spent a lot of time hacking.
See, I've not read any of those.
Check out Brutus,
Well,
and then check out Federalist Farmer.
Unless he was quoted in, say, a book I've read.
I'm sure.
And I think I have encountered that name. I loathe those pen naming.
All these anonymous guys.
That pen naming convention that was so extant then. I really loathe that. And so because I loathe it, and because I don't really trust people that don't write with their name at the bottom, I tend not to take it seriously.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a mistake in this.
Well, I understand. But it's,
then what did we read? And then we read.
It has to do with how I was raised.
Oh yeah.
I will tell you a story about that later on. This computer problems, huh?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Well, yeah. So then we read basically a whole bunch of the debates over ratification. We went through the Constitution line by line and lined them up with the Federalist. I mean, all of this in like the in.
Yeah, but it's all sort of the Constitution you've read several times.
Oh yeah, but then we compared them to the. So then what we did is when we were done, like the last 3 classes, we went through article by article and then compared Federalist and anti-Federalist debates over it and discussed it.
Well, I like to remark that first, the one thing we need to do is get rid of the 17th Amendment. And
absolutely.
I would completely agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
And the other thing I don't quite think it's necessary because unless they want to somehow re-specify how this electoral college works, because the electoral college always, after the 11th Amendment was passed, or the 12th Amendment, I think it was the 12th Amendment, the one that really specified how the electoral college elections are supposed to take place in the House and the Senate and so forth. The whole political party system evolved, and that all happened at the state level independently.
Right,
I mean, there wasn't any
as a way to sort of gain the electoral college.
Yeah,
system.
there wasn't any plan for that. So short of.
So I like the electoral college.
Well, I don't want to see direct election of the president.
No. But what I meant by that comment to you that I made, return the electoral college, I would almost rather see. I don't know how it is in other states, but when you go and vote in Ohio, there's not, there's the name of the candidate that you're voting for on the ballot. I want to know who my elector is. I want to know the name of the dude that's going to go and vote.
I vaguely remember when I first started voting that was the way.
Or at least it was on there somewhere.
Yeah, there was a very fine print underneath.
Yeah.
His electors are pledged to. That was actually. Now I may be just hallucinating that, or maybe some older person at the time had told me that.
Right.
I fully agree. And if you get right down to it, just have the names of the electors, period, and then. They can, in fine print says pledge to so and so, pledge to so. And
even better.
You have to go down and you have to.
Even better. Yeah, you got to do some reading.
You got to mark all the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, then all the people that want the illiterates to vote would say, "Hey, that's unfair. You're trying to suppress votes."
But I think kind of the point is that you really don't want the illiterates
Give me a
to
break.
vote.
No, you don't. No, you don't want the illiterates.
That was
to vote.
kind of the whole point in the first one.
Well, and that's why they designed the process. That's why they designed the process the way they did.
Yeah. And now, having gone through this, line by line, I can appreciate why. I tell you right now, if you've got the week to kill, this
week as in time, not W-E-A-K.
The W-E-E-K.
Oh.
This was one of the most fascinating so the one of the 2 professors that taught this class, this guy named Gordon Wood, is probably the absolute foremost expert on the federal convention. And the way he breaks it, because if you just read Madison's debates, it is really easy to get overwhelmed with so-and-so said this, and then they made a motion to do this, and then they wanted to rehash this motion, and then they tabled it and all that. What he does...
Now, is he using tabled in the sense of...
Tabled meaning postpone,
Okay,
delayed.
because the British use table to mean propose.
That's my word.
I know.
I
I'm
table
saying
and postpone.
the UK folks
Right.
and we use table in a different way. Yeah.
But anyway, so this guy's like the foremost expert, and so what he's done is he takes it sort of thread by thread. So let's talk about representation in the first branch of the legislature. Okay, here are all of the dates where they talk about that and debate that, because it's like a week, 3 days of debates.
Oh, I see.
They'll postpone it.
Yeah.
They'll talk about it a month later.
Yeah.
Then somebody will come back and want to rehash it again after they've come out of the committee.
Yeah.
So what we did was we went through basically representation. How do we do the first house? How do we do the second house, or the House and the Senate?
Yeah.
How do we do the presidency? How do we do this? And so instead of reading it chronologically all the way through by date, we went through it by discussion.
Yeah.
Which makes it so much easier to sort of make sense.
Well, it's kind of like reading a diatessaron where all the four gospels are, coordinated together.
And then, so then the way he kind of teaches it is he sets it up sort of as almost like a 4-act drama or play, with sort of the committee with the 4 for the Constitution. And then, so the committee of detail is like the intermission. So they all go away and like magically let all this magic happen, and then they come back, and the committee of detail is like, here's what we want.
Well, it's like a conference committee, when they have bills that slightly.
Well, and then there's a huge deal about the committee of detail and where there's some
of
backward
course, because
deals.
that's where the power lies.
Oh yeah.
Of course. So all the sweet deals are made and cut. Things never change.
No. I want that smoke-filled room. That smoke-filled room is what saves stupid people from stupid people.
Well, yes and no. Yes
and no. And then let's get rid of like running for president. Let's get rid of campaign donation. Let's just say get rid of campaign donation.
See, I completely disagree with that. People need to be able to present their views to the public, and it costs money to do that.
Sure. But then let's level the playing field.
Well,
get your Donald Trump
honey, God bless you. You know by now, and obviously anybody that's over the age of 2 or 3 knows that life ain't a level playing field.
Well, no, but our election system, certainly for the President of the United States, could be. Absolutely.
It will never be. It will never be. The closest it's come to it being level is Abraham Lincoln.
When a guy like Donald Trump has gotten this far in the election process,
based
on this primary system.
I am surprised. Now, I like the primary system. What I don't like is I don't like the winner take all primary. I like the proportional delegate primary system like the Democrats have. But I'm surprised Donald Trump didn't get farther along long before he is now.
He's the example of why our system is fucked.
It could just as easily have happened in the other party. Just as easily have happened.
Sure, but and it almost happened with Ross Perot. But the point is that needs to get fixed.
Well, Ross Perot wasn't really a demagogue.
Well, no, but Ross Perot screwed the election.
Yes, he did.
By being this self-financed. I'm going to play the primary system.
He's the one that elected Clinton. Yes, or whatever.
I tell you, the Electoral College isn't the problem. It's actually the primary system. If you want a winner-take-all system, have the Electoral College as a winner-take-all system, and have the primaries be a proportional of votes.
Well, it is actually the Electoral College is a winner-take-all system in the sense that
in most states
that the votes are okay.
In terms of the way the states award the
election. I guess Nebraska and Maine they do it by congressional districts rather than by the state total.
I think New Jersey does.
Maybe they've recently changed.
I don't know. I could be making that up.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing them go to congressional districts because, of course, if the election actually does get thrown into the House, then at least that has some degree of. But of course, they have to vote by state.
One state
in the House.
Vote. Yeah. One state.
and it's a majority vote in the delegation.
And then the Senate elects the vice president.
Yeah.
Because they've never fixed that or changed that. I mean, you know they wouldn't. But it's interesting. Pardon my French.
I'm just, they can't hear you mumbling.
Oh, good. Cursing.
Well, that's okay too. I swear a lot anymore on YouTube. Anymore than that.
Yeah, it's all kind of gone downhill, right? At first you started out not drinking on camera. Then you're like, oh, screw that.
Oh, I don't ever
Oh, yeah.
not
Go
drinking on
back
camera.
and watch the first maybe a couple of weeks or so.
Oh, well.
And then it went to like you lean over and take a sip off camera. And then after about 2 or 3 weeks, it was like, ah, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna slurp it down right here on camera.
Joe's YouTube live.
So Carter has a new game.
Is that a video game?
New video game.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Called YouTuber's Life.
YouTuber's life?
Yes.
No, really?
Yes.
Really?
And I'm not kidding. You're this character that tries to make a living as a YouTuber.
As a professional YouTuber.
Yes. And you go to all these like big meetings and soirees and promotional events,
That
and then you try
sounds
to make networking connections with these other people.
That sounds great.
And then off in the corner, it's got like, you know, your number of views, how much money you've made, right? Like, and then as you make money, then you can go and you can like upgrade from this like little shitty one-room apartment to, you know.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's fantastic.
YouTubers like
Where did
this on
Kelly bought it for him. It was like $15.
That sounds wonderful.
He loves it. That's all he does.
I imagine he
He
was.
sits around and
Hell, I think I might want it. And I haven't even played my Extreme Landings Pro yet.
I know. Come on, man. Extreme Landing
Oh, they
Pro.
had this.
I upgraded.
They
Pro.
had this thing to buy you. So
Oh, I don't even know how the game is. I was like, all right, I'm done. I can't handle any more of these.
Scoot forward just a bit. You're getting out free.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm all right. As long as I don't rock. Sorry, YouTubers. YouTuber's life.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yes, he loves it.
Well, I suppose you're going to put him on a plane to VidCon next year.
Yeah, VidCon. We're coming.
You're going to take him out to VidCon.
He's got like 30 views, so yeah, we're going VidCon.
Or you could or Playlist Live, wherever the hell that is.
He actually brought it up.
No!
Yeah.
No! No!
What? VidCon. This is about 2 weeks ago. He goes, Dad. I'm like, yeah. He goes, can we go to VidCon? I'm like, where is it? I forget.
It's Los
Yeah, he's
Angeles.
like, it's in Los Angeles. No. California. It's only like a 3-hour drive. No.
It's a 3-hour drive.
It's not. It's like a 6-hour plane ride.
It may be a 3-hour wait in the airport to get on the plane.
For a 5-hour flight.
To take a 6-hour plane ride.
And in Columbus International Airport, good luck getting a direct flight anywhere.
Oh no, there are direct flights Los Angeles out of Columbus every day.
Oh, not the wicked flight.
No, there are. Or there used to be.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
There used to be 2, actually.
I'm sure there are. We had to go through Dallas.
Oh, I can't imagine if they eliminated that daily flight to Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm sure it's there somewhere. I don't know. Well, we flew into San Francisco, so that's.
Well, yeah, I mean that used to, TWA used to do that. San Francisco, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, we had to go to
Sometimes
Dallas,
twice a day.
Dallas and then San Francisco, and then we came back through. We had to go to Dallas. We went from Columbus to Dallas, Dallas to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then Jackson Hole to
yeah.
Now, granted, we were doing it on the cheap, so I suppose we could have spent more money and gotten a better flight.
No, but in a fight, no, you went down, then you went up, then you come back down.
Yes. Jackson Hole was one of these little tiny, like 40-seat jets.
Well, there's nothing wrong with those.
No, it's fine.
I'd rather be on one of those actually. assuming the guy, flying it knows what he's doing.
Most of these guys probably.
Well, they know what they're doing, but are they motivated to do it to a level of excellence and have they had enough sleep?
Well, that's, yeah.
Well, of course, one of the things that motivates them is they don't want to get killed either. So that is a powerful motivator.
Yeah, it is. That tends to be. And then when you put two of them up there.
Unless you're one of these nut bags that wants to just go right down into the ocean.
That's why you have two of them up there, theoretically.
Well, unless they conspire.
Wow. At some point, you have to stop.
No. You never stop. You never stop. Because once you stop thinking about, whether you're going to be alive or not, that's when you essentially are dead. Do not be complacent about your life.
There's always the one that wants to commit suicide, and he waits until his friend goes to the shitter, and that's when they go down.
Henry Rollins does this great bit where he's like, he does this great bit where he's like, every time I fly, the one thing that I really enjoy listening to is the pre-flight announcement from the captain.
I always listen to that.
They're always so completely chill. He says, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be cruising at 35,000 feet today. Should have a beautiful day. Nice flight on into Los Angeles. We'll have you there in about 5 hours, 25 minutes. Enjoy your flight. Thanks. Right? And it's like, and then he goes on and on. He really kind of riffs it and builds it up. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you to fasten your seatbelts. We've got a little turbulence coming up here. We're going to be flying through the eye of a hurricane. Don't worry about it, folks. We're going to be all right. We'll get you through this. And then he's like, but the thing that really always scares me is what happens when the guy's like, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I've decided to fly this plane into the sun.
Well, one of my favorite moments ever was I was flying from. I had been flying to Boston, I think, and hell, it might have been. I was going to go take my oral anesthesia exam, but it was on Appalachian, not Appalachian. Was there Appalachian Airlines?
Fuck, sorry, YouTubers, I don't know.
But anyway, it was on DC-9.
Doesn't sound like the kind of airline I'd want to fly.
No, it was DC-9.
It's like Uncle Cooter's airline.
No. It was a perfectly good. It was a DC-9.
Family Dollar Airways.
It's a great. DC-9's a perfectly good plane, except that they have to have that stabilizer adjusted on that T-tail thing, rather than they have a high T-tail rather than because their engines they have engines in the rear.
Yeah.
And anyway, and you boarded the plane, you could see this whole huge line of thunderstorms approaching Columbus from the west. And we're taking off from east to west.
Right. Sure.
And the guy says, "Oh well, yeah." The tower's given us the option of sitting through these, which might take another hour and a half. He says, or we can go now, and I'll just actually fly this airplane out of their way. He says, I've decided to just actually, be a pilot, be a man, and fly this plane out of their way. And I was loving it. Yeah. And the guy, whammed it in, and he held his brakes. It's like, whoosh, yeah. And he got up around maybe 75, 100 feet off the ground, and then leveled out until he got a lot of airspeed. And then he did one of these great yanking climbing turns out of the way of the storm. It was great.
It's probably a carrier pilot.
I was absolutely coming in my pants. I was loving it.
We rolled over like this.
Yeah, it wasn't the one of those slow, gentle, 30 degree at the most, 15 degree at the most banks. This guy was over a full 45, 50 degrees.
So, and if you're on the aisle seat, you're on the right side.
Yeah,
well, I was on the right window, and I was just eating this stuff out.
I was reaching over and putting my hand
No
on
need to.
the
It was
seat on
perfect. It was
plane
perfect.
to
Perfect.
help hold us up.
Perfect G-forces. Nobody was sliding.
From what I understand, is that a lot of these big giant commercial planes, or DC-9, which is a giant, but it's a big plane, actually can do a hell of a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Than what you have. So a good pilot in a commercial flight, you never realize everything's all nice and cool and but you can actually do a heck of a lot. Well, some of these are actually pretty maneuverable planes.
Have you look on it from YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube. It's the actual first demonstration of the 707 for their first purchaser. And it was shot in Seattle.
Was this back in like the 1960s?
No. Well, listen, the DC, the 707 came out in 54, 56.
Oh, okay.
And they did the demonstration flight over this lake that's outside Seattle, and the delegation or whatever the purchasers were gonna be at this little lodge. They had a balcony overlooking the lake, and they were going to watch this plane fly down over the lake. Yeah. What
the 707?
Yeah, 707.
Over the lake?
707 was one of the... They should never have gotten rid of that.
It's a big plane, though.
Well,
it's a good-sized plane
but
it's
a very...
Wasn't that like the first jet Air Force One?
Yes.
The 707?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still our KC-135 tanker. But, so anyway, so this guy comes down over this lake, and then as he pulls out.
Right.
He barrel rolls the 707, going, as he climbs over the mountain range. And
can you imagine?
And of course, that wasn't scheduled.
Well, yeah, but you never see a plane that big do a maneuver.
The
like
crowd went wild.
Oh, I bet.
Actually, I think there's somewhere.
There's got to be video.
Where there's
some film of it.
Oh no, it's on YouTube. I've seen it. There's also a video somewhere of a 747 doing the same damn thing.
Can you imagine barrel rolling a 747? I mean, that's such a... You don't think of a plane like that big doing that.
I think I've seen one somewhere do a loop-to-loop.
I've heard the guys who fly these C-17, or is it C... What are the big star lifters?
Well, the C-17 is the biggest one.
Yeah.
You have C5 or C-17. One of them, I can't remember.
The C-17 is the big one. Whichever one is the big one. Yeah. The guys who fly that plane say that for a plane that big, even when it's loaded, is remarkably maneuverable. Of course, I guess it would have to be.
Well, of course, a lot of that's due to the wing design.
Oh, yeah. But it's incredible. Yeah. I mean, and then what's the one... It's the C-17, but with the guns. So then they fly down way low.
No. That's the C-130, and that's a much smaller aircraft.
Right. C-130.
And that's where they have the 105 howitzer out the back, and then this row of machine guns.
And these 20mm Gatling guns out the sides. Yeah. But that's a C-130. But the C-17 Starlifter, I think is what it's called. Yeah. They were saying there's a whole documentary
where the nose opens up or lifts up. And you drive the tanks in and out the back.
Shit, I don't know if it was on Discovery Channel, but there's a whole hour-long documentary on it where basically they interview these guys, and they're like, they're like, for a plane this size, even if I've got a whole belly full of cargo, it's like remarkably maneuverable. It's like if we need to get out of the way of enemy fire, we can do it. Yeah. Of course, they've got all sorts of classified, anti.
Well, I mean, like the 747, the Air Force One has all that.
Oh, yeah.
They have modified wings so that they can land a lot slower and use a lot shorter runways. It was so neat to watch it land at Port Columbus that one day.
Oh, I've never.
Because this plane came in far slower than I expected it to. Far shorter landing than I expected it.
I wonder why they do that, because you would almost think that you would want a quicker landing and a faster flight, even if it's a longer landing.
If you've seen the video of Bush's 747 taking off after 9/11,
oh no,
this plane was off the ground in
like 2 seconds.
It looked like it was probably realistically it was probably about 1,300 feet, and then.
Get them up in the air.
I mean, just an amazing takeoff.
Well, those guys, I mean, come on, they're the best pilots in the world.
He was in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, Air Force pilots in general, and then specifically the guy that flies Air Force One, has got to be arguably one of the best pilots.
Not to denigrate any of our pilots, but Navy carrier pilots.
Oh well, there you
are without a doubt the best.
Because you're landing on a moving and a rocking.
Yeah, it's at night.
Short ass at night.
And the U.S. does that at night.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's it used to be the only country that did it at night. But I think there's two others.
I'm sure Britain does.
Well, I don't know if they had planes to use on their aircraft carrier.
They got more than one.
Well, no. They don't have any. They don't have any one now that has planes on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Better hope they'll come to the rescue if they ever.
Yeah. Well, that's. Well, they've cut a deal with France.
Oh well, that's good. Not after they
not to badmouth the UK foreign policy, there, guys.
Brexit.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
We shall see.
No, that's good. That's good. They were insane to do that the first. They were insane. I couldn't believe that.
We shall see.
Well, and it's kind of the politically. Actually, it's the political riposte to that fucking Channel tunnel. Well, let's dig a tunnel under something that's protected us for over 1,000 years, and make it easy to get into our country.
The tunnel's a fairly easy problem to solve if you have to.
Right? I should imagine.
Blow the thing up, right? Oh, hey, there's enemy tanks coming down the tunnel.
No, he said that. I am not advocating that in any way, shape, or form.
If you've got Russian tanks coming down the channel to invade, London, blow the channel up?
Well, that would be, I suppose. Now, of course, if they'd remained in the European Union and Russia had joined the European Union.
But they said that.
Well, what would Jean-Claude say? Great, at least they have a real national anthem and tune. Well, Tony Pitchman and I were talking about that. I said at least we sang "My Country 'Tis of Thee," which of course I always was thinking it was like "God Save the Queen," and because anymore now I don't know the words for "My Country 'Tis of Thee." Of liberty of thee.
Yeah, but that's not our national anthem.
Well, no. But I mean, in terms of a tune, you want something that's majestic and singable. I think the French have the French have a good one. The Russians have a good one. The British have a good one. Even if they were just going to adopt a separate English national anthem, Jerusalem, 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 lift up your heart and sing, that would be good. But as Tony made a very specific point to me in a comment today, he was always talking about the English national anthem. And I thought, ooh, I think there was a sensitivity there I didn't quite get the nuance of.
Well, you're not an Englishman.
Well, no, I'm not.
I was talking with
somebody. We haven't been now for 9 generations, at least.
Only 9. Who was I talking with?
Carter's 9th generation.
Somebody was speculating that now after this Brexit nonsense that Scotland may very well say, well, screw you guys, we're out of here. We're going to go join the European Union.
No, fuck that. That's just, they like to say that, and that's fine. It's like
Texas saying they're going to.
Well, it's like they say, we're allowed under the Act of Union to split ourselves up into 5 states. And for that matter, even though, if one reads the Constitution carefully, the right to secede is implied.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
Yes,
That's what we decided.
Yes, it is.
We spent.
Well, yes, I know it's been decided.
We spent about an hour and a half talking about that very point in class. I can tell you right now, the right to secede is not implied, nor was it ever intended.
Well, okay. Well, I admit it probably wasn't discussed or intended.
Yeah.
But still, if you read the plain text of just the Constitution, the original unamended Constitution, it doesn't, and I think the smoking gun on that is, after 9 states ratify this, it shall take effect. Because 9 colonies ratify, shall take effect. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. What about the other 4?
Right.
What about the other 4?
Yeah.
That implies to me that, these 9 are free to
go read Madison's debates. It's great. They talk about
that's
this.
fine.
Yeah.
But Rhode Island did not ratify the Constitution until the 1980s, early 1990s.
Oh shit, I don't know.
But it wasn't until the last 30 years.
We had this great discussion of this very topic because if you go back and if you read the debates, there's basically the same conversation we're having now. These guys are sitting around like, so if they don't join, can we just take them over? And then one guy's like, so if they don't join, does that mean they can go and make treaties with Britain and stuff? And then one guy, and I forget who it is, one guy's basically yeah, but we're not going to let that happen, right? And everybody's like, well, of course not.
Well,
and basically the implied threat is, if you don't sign, we're just going to fucking make you take you over. That's the implied intent.
Yeah, force majeure, all power comes from the barrel.
And then there's this if Rhode Island, let Rhode Island do whatever the hell they want to do. But of course, the big elephant in the room was New York.
Yeah.
I mean, if New York didn't sign up, there could have been some real problems.
And yet, it's very very shortly after ratification, Vermont seceded from New York.
Go and look. One of the great things that we looked at is you can go and look at.
Now, how did they let that happen?
But see, that's okay because you're allowed to create new states from other states, provided both state legislatures also.
Well, it was like West Virginia, except that didn't. Right. Virginia didn't agree to West Virginia being created.
Yeah, but they were in a state of rebellion.
That was.
So, well, depending on your point of view, I guess.
Actually,
they seceded.
There's a huge statue of Abraham Lincoln out in front of West Virginia State House in Charleston, and they revere him as the sort of their father of their state.
Right?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
What's interesting?
That great gold dome, beautiful building in Charleston.
It's the only beautiful building in Charleston.
Well, that's arguably true.
I mean, you want to talk about the butt crack of America? Go to Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, I would say it's Kanawha. I would say it's along the Kanawha River, 20 miles to the east of Charleston, as with that chemical-filled, smog-filled air coming down the valley. Now that's. I have smelled butt cracks that smell better than that.
Well, and then let's be really honest.
I've tasted air. I've tasted butt cracks that taste better than the air in that.
Yeah, well, and as long as we're being honest, folks, really, virtually the entire state of Alabama also.
Alabama's beautiful. What the terrifying state is Mississippi.
Oh, I mean,
that'll scare the snot out of you.
Oh yeah. The only time I've been more scared than when I was driving through rural Mississippi.
Great people, but the state in general scares the snot out of me.
The only time I've been more scared than driving through rural Mississippi and rural Alabama was driving through the thumb of freaking eastern Michigan.
Yeah, thumb of Lower Peninsula
basically,
Michigan.
You might as well be driving through rural Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Only, who would have known?
Well, it's nothing but house trailers and Klan.
I remember this was 15 years ago. Dad says to me, where'd you go when you went to Michigan? I said, well, I was trying to recreate a route that I imagined that we had taken, but I messed up.
Yeah, you were.
And I said, so we basically drove around the entire coast of Michigan around the thumb and stuff. And Dad goes, Huh. Really? I said, yeah. And he goes, how'd you like that? I said, I hated it. I was terrified. What was really scary was when I got completely lost in the middle of rural Thumb, Michigan with my half-Japanese girlfriend. You can imagine how well that would have gone.
Well, at least she wasn't going to the women's WOMYNS music festival.
We stopped in this, I hesitate to use the word parking lot, but for lack of a better term, let's say parking lot made of gravel, for this, I guess, shall we say, a tavern that was made of 3 house trailers that had been sort of welded together.
And, I've been at several of those bars in South Carolina.
I am not kidding, YouTubers. I'm not exaggerating.
They're good times. They really are.
They had a flagpole flying a Confederate flag.
Oh, well, that's standard pretty much anywhere in the United States.
No, it's not.
Oh.
And in Michigan, okay. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not exaggerating. There was nothing for 9 miles or more in any given direction. And yet, we've got this, and so we pull into this parking lot. And my girlfriend...
It's all sand, isn't it?
My girlfriend at the time. Now, there was a sign, a little neon sign that said open. And my girlfriend at the time said, well, let's just go in there and ask for directions.
How informative.
And I said, I would rather be lost out here for a few more hours than to go in there and ask for directions. She goes, well, I'll go in. I'm like, that's even worse. No,
that would not be a suave move.
I said, in fact, we need to just leave. Let's just drive north, because eventually I know I'll
hit water. No, if you keep driving north, you'll hit
water.
So, you'll hit water,
Yeah, that's what I did. I drove north until I found the lake, and then I got the hell out of there. This was not a good trip. Pretty well cemented the end of that relationship.
Did you go through the town called Bad Axe?
We did not. We did go to Flint. We did go to.
No. My nephew lived just outside Bad Axe for a while.
Bad Axe?
Yeah.
You may have. I don't know.
Bad Axe.
Bad. A-X-E,
This is before the days of GPS devices and stuff, so I was just doing all this shit with a road atlas.
Well,
it's hard for me to remember exactly,
That's how most people still navigate around here, or they're a bee.
All the GPS is always tell you the wrong thing.
I don't need it. We don't need no stinking GPS.
As long as the sun's up, I know how to. I'm like a bee.
Well, in any case, actually anymore now, I don't even need the damn sun to be up.
Right.
I'm in tune with my magnetic field. I am, actually. It's uncanny. I've been this way my entire life. I can drive into a strange town, not look at a map, and I can find my way to wherever I want to go.
It is kind of weird.
It's a blessing.
You are kind of weird like that.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Although,
testify.
When I was younger, I used to kind of perceive that as
testify, brother.
Sort of driving around. But I guess maybe.
No.
Dad, do you know where we're going?
Well, no, sure. I mean, not specifically, but I knew that I'd get there.
We'll figure it out.
Well, no, I mean, see, the problem is, it doesn't work if you think about it. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I believe it.
It's a gestalt. Why am I in this dark spot? I'm not being a good dude. I'd probably lose points in the YouTuber game.
You don't mean philosophically. You mean literally.
No. I'm not in a dark spot. I'm not in a dark spot. No, I'm trusting in God for that dark spot shit. Believe me, I've heard some stories today from people about folks on the prayer list that will make you realize, hey, things are great. Hello, For example, now I can tell it.
Oh, okay.
Humor me for just a moment.
Oh, sure. A few, if you want. Oh, fuck. I know, it's driving me, it's making me sick.
I know, anyway, I think no. I'll tell this. I'll tell this on the story. Screw how long this thing is.
Yeah.
You can hear them going click, 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 click. I get up this morning and I check my email, and I get an email from an address that's clearly a phone number in the 740 area code. This is our area code up here in Delaware County. It ends in 4000, so I think it's some sort of business quasi-official phone number. It's a, let's see, how do I get that? VZWPIX.com, thing. Well, in retrospect, I realize that's a Verizon.
Oh,
that's a Verizon.
Yeah, someone was texting.
Email.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yes. And so it's like, my name, well, the sender, to me, no subject, no content except for an attachment, a TXT attachment.
Please tell me you didn't put that.
I knew I was not going to fully open it, but I did the quick look thing. Now, the reason I did that is I had seen that particular number in other contexts, but I wasn't able to clearly recall.
Okay, so there was a familiarity, but you didn't. Okay.
But not anything that I could pin on this thing. So I did the quick look, and I get this TXT document, and it is got the smallest type I have seen outside of microfilm in my life. I've seen microfilm in libraries I've held up to the light that have larger text fonts on them.
It's gotta be. That's not good.
Well, from the context of the thing, it talked about, this. I mean, whoever wrote this clearly knew me.
Why don't you just scan it first with your virus scan?
No, I was waiting.
Okay.
So, normally I would just summarily, first of all, this individual sent it to the att.net address, which is a defunct address.
Right.
And if I get some, and I know for a fact, I remember for a fact that I have deleted similar messages like this in the past without opening them.
Right.
I just see them, I just delete them. I don't delete them from the window. Mm-hmm. I delete them from over in the column. Mm-hmm. This one seems like she actually does know, or whoever wrote it knows. And so I replied to it, but I replied to it by typing that email address in on my own email address to send it from my, insight.rr.
Right.
And I said, while this seems very legitimate to me, it would be very nice to know, to add context to this, who has sent this to me.
Right.
So that I have a sense of what's going on. Sent it. Meanwhile, I had tried calling this thing that was clearly from them.
Right.
And I got an answering machine or voicemail message. I couldn't tell which.
In like a generic one, though. Not like a.
Well, no. It was clearly the voice. I almost, but not quite recognized it. And the context was somebody who had clearly an adult daughter who was working at the school system here, and who was still married. And I'm thinking, there aren't that many people who aren't widowed that have adult daughters, and of course there are three of these people who are in their second marriages, and but sometimes they refer to their stepchildren as their own daughters and things like that. After everything settled, I had, everything made sense. But I'm thinking, wouldn't it have been just easier if said, if this woman had written, "Dear Joe, please put so and so on the prayer list. Here's the situation,"
right.
and then signed her name at the bottom, Linda.
It was like a confusing.
No, it was just and then I got thinking about this. This is a social critique that's about to happen here, guys. Every single woman I've known, without exception, in my entire life, no matter whether they're full of shit or whether they're highly wonderful and you just don't mind them at all and you like them very, very much, they all do this. They, without exception, talk to you about their friends, their children, their acquaintances, as if you are completely familiar with every single individual in their life and all of the circumstances of those individuals' past lives, and that you should be au courant with everything going on in their life. Every single woman I've known does this, without exception. I don't know a single guy that does that.
So there.
It's true. That's a true observation.
It's an observation. I mean,
it's well, wait a minute. Now, sometimes one has to have a line in the sand for the tribe here, dude.
A line in the sand. Across this, you will not. Also, dude, Chinaman is not the proper nomenclature. That's right, folks. We quote Big Lebowski here. All right, I got to take a whiff.
Oh, very good.